Welcome to today's installment of the Daily Shift, where I'm doing this series where I'm helping you to be less stress-free over the holidays. So really, you can use this at any time that you want. I have, this is part of the Daily Shift podcast, but I have a separate playlist for this if you want to see all 22 videos is going to be. And if you're new to me, hi, my name is Raquel, and I'm your GPS for success. So what we're going to do is what I call the 1% solution. And the 1% solution is really about taking 1% of your day and investing it in yourself. Now, my clients who have been doing this consistently, which means pretty much every single day, I've given them different kinds of modalities for them to tap into. And that 1% of the day is less than 15 minutes. The ones who are really having financial breakthroughs and drawing in love and all kinds of juicy things in their lives are the ones who are consistently doing this kind of thing. The problem with this kind of modality is that it's the compound effect. So if you're looking for an instant change, it's not going to happen. Now, you will have an instant change though today. And the instant change is going to be how you feel about yourself and how you see yourself. And that is really the foundation, because you're never going to go any further than how you see and feel about yourself. So during this time together, I'm going to help shift that perspective for you. And that's why I created this series, because we're doing different topics in this series of 21 days. So we're going to do a mantra, or you can call it an affirmation if you don't like that word. Don't get stuck on the word. Then we're going to do, I'm going to give you a journal prompt around that particular topic. And then we're going to do something called an EFT. You might know it as tapping. If you're new to that and you want to know why it works so well, then you can go ahead and watch the first video in this series. Again, it's linked down below for your ease of reference, because I like ease of reference. Now, my clients who have been doing this, you might feel like, oh, that's too easy. That's not really going to change my life. But it has. It's changed my life. People have lost weight doing this. So if you're like, why can't this weight come off? It could be because, your cortisol levels are really high. And when you're stressed out, even if you're doing all these things, your body tends to plateau or doesn't want to release those things. And so through the EFT, it's a really gentle way for you to release those blocks that are within you and then embody the new thing, right? What's not confronted is not changed. And so through this practice, we are constantly very gently confronting the thing. And it has to be gentle, because your brain doesn't like to be jarred. It doesn't like, aggressive. It doesn't like, you might be aggressive. Maybe you're a dominant personality and natural born leader. So you're like, I know what I want. But for you to have a lifestyle change, it has to be in one of two ways. And it's really your belief system. Repetition, or a high emotional event. And so this is a way for you to do repetition, allowing you to every day confront it a little bit in a gentle way, so that way you can release those things that come up for you and continue to embody that new thing. Because again, you're never going to go any farther than how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself. It's part of the prosperity that we need. We're told in the good book that you will prosper and be in health as your soul, which is your mind, your will, and your emotions prosper. And a lot of times people want to go ahead and manifest some things. They want to jump to the feelings, to the emotions, but that's actually out of order. If you feed your mind right, then you won't have a procrastination issue, because your mind will feed your will, your willingness to do something. And then you'll start to organically and start finding that you're magnetizing yourself to those things that are going to make you successful. And then as you're practicing that, your emotions will change. Your emotions, they're different than feelings. Emotions are those things that come up, and then, you can get out of that real fast. Somebody can get you out of that good mood real fast if they look at you funny, or they say something, or, they cut you off in traffic. That's an emotion. It's energy emotion. Your feelings is the language of the subconscious. And so your subconscious, what happens is that when you have a prolonged emotion, that's going to change your mood. Your mood prolonged is going to change your perception. It's going to change your belief systems, which is going to change your outcome. So this is a way for you to start really changing your perception by investing in yourself less than 1% of your day. All right, so we're going to get started. Let me get my banners up. So like I said, we're going to do the 3 things today, where we're going to do the mantra, or the affirmation, the journaling, and then the EFT. So today's mantra is, I am that. I'm confident in my choices. And you might be thinking, no, I'm not, sis, because if I look to my past, I've made some really bad choices. And maybe that's why you're not so confident in them. But when you think about it, a lot of times when we don't make the right choices is because we're in confusion. And confusion comes from one or two places. It's either you don't have enough information or you have the wrong information. And when you look at those bad choices that you made, that's why. It's going to fall most likely in one of those 2 categories. So we're going to help you to take your power back today by rewriting history. And this is one of the journal prompts, a couple of them that I use. So in this, when you're thinking about, I am not confident, maybe you're not feeling confident even right now, but as allow your beautiful brain to be your partner to help you to release this, and think about a memory that's coming up that is contrary to the truth, where you are not confident in your choices. Like, was it one of those things? Was it because you didn't have enough information? Was it because you had the wrong information? I work with a lot of entrepreneurs. Obviously, I'm a solopreneur myself. And so, did you fall for that FOMO? Did you fall for that, ooh, squirrel, that's a shiny object? And because you didn't have enough information, you went and you gave somebody your money, and you're like, oh, crap. And now you had buyer's remorse. I know people who have spent, thousands of dollars on certifications and programs, and, to get opportunities to, frankly, I know a lot of people who spend a lot of money to have a celebrity endorsement, and not even endorsement. They just were able to talk to them or take a picture, and they were convinced that was going to help them in their business, but because they didn't know how to leverage that opportunity, they didn't know how to leverage that in their marketing, it went nowhere. I have people who spent $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 for a picture that did nothing for their business. And so, wow, they don't want to talk about it because they don't want to talk against those things. But when you continue to make decisions that in a way that where you are not wired to succeed that way, like for me, I am in human design, I'm called a manifesting generator. I have an emotional authority, which means that I get really excited, but I have to allow myself the gift of time. So I glitched. I have to allow myself the gift of time to settle my emotions before I make a big decision, or really any decision. I have to settle down. Because how many of us could get really, really excited, and then in the moment, and then we have buyer's remorse, and then you're not confident about your decisions because you're like, man, I made all these decisions and I thought it resonated with me. And it turned out it was the wrong decision. That's another thing too. If people talk about resonance just means agreement. There's something in me that's agreeing with something in you. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's for right now. It doesn't mean that it's right for you. And so if you're going around, I really resonated with that. My intuition must be off. You don't know how you're wired to succeed. If you're interested in learning how you're wired to succeed, go ahead and just, hashtag wired below and let me know. I am right now, there's a course that's coming out called the Human Design Decoder, and it's going to really help you to embody that. So I learned through that process of learning really how I'm wired to succeed is that I have to wait. And it doesn't have to wait long. Like I can wait 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes. If it's a bigger purchase or a really big decision, it's better for me to wait until my emotions settle down and I'm at peace again, even overnight. And so I've learned that when I make those decisions for myself, when I'm making the decisions in alignment with how I am wired to succeed, my decisions are on point for me. So when people are like, you should do this and this, and I'm like, if they try to pressure me, you should really be doing this now, and they're not giving me what I need in order for me to make the right aligned decision for myself, my answer automatically is no. Period. You should be doing this. No. I have to wait until I have my own inner witness. And if somebody's going to bully me into making a decision right now, then you're not respecting how I'm wired to succeed. And so I will respectfully decline. I already know that whatever's for me is for me. And I already know that if I'm going to make a bad mistake, I'm leaning on grace and mercy every single day. I'm receiving that daily manna of grace and mercy because I'm not always going to make the right decisions. However, when I really honor the way I am wired to succeed, which is to allow myself the gift of a little bit of time to let my emotions settle down and come from peace, then those decisions have been on point every single time. I'm still practicing that because sometimes I get too excited. Sometimes I get very excited. I just want it, right? I'm not 100%, and neither are you. You're not going to get everything right. And that's okay. And this is part of the forgiveness. Forgive yourself for getting excited. Forgive yourself for not getting enough information. Forgive yourself for believing the wrong information. Forgive the other person for maybe manipulating you, because that's how they learn to do sales. You know, a lot of times people are not doing it to be mean. They've been convinced. They've been lied to. They've been manipulated, saying this is the way for you to do that. One of the things that people tell me all the time is, Raquel, you should make more controversial videos because those get a lot of eyeballs. But that's not my brand. Like if I'm in the moment and I feel like, yes, do this, then I'll do it. But I don't have that many. Like I have a few, like one of my most watched videos on TikTok was a response. Another one as well, it was more controversial, but that's not my brand. That's not my brand as a business, and it's not my brand as a person. I'm not going to do something that is outside of how I'm wired, because I'm not wired to be that kind of contrarian. I'm not wired to poke at things in that way. I am wired to poke at things, but not in that way. And so if I don't feel good about it, I don't care if it's going to take longer for me because I'm doing it in the way that is authentic to me. So if it takes a little bit more time, I'm good with that, because I know I'm being authentic to myself, and that's a decision I've made. I'm not going to do that, period. Because I also don't want to attract those kind of people who love that kind of like juicy, bad gossip. It's ugly. I'm not interested. All right, so right now we're going to do the thing called tapping. And what we're going to do a setup phrase. And when we do this part here, this is like a psychological reversal. So you can just repeat after me, and then for the first time, and then when you come back to this, you can just use the words that are coming up for you. When you use the words that I'm giving you, if you're not used to it, then it's like, oh, okay, maybe it's not your story, but something's going to think of it like it's going to dislodge, and you can go ahead and use different words when you come back to it. Then we're going to tap up here, like in the middle of the head, ends of the eyebrows, right between, underneath, here. Like, think of like right here in the middle, the crevice, right here, your chin, collarbone, and then we're going to do the wrist. Everything that hits a different point, doing it all together is really going to help you. If you say something I'm not saying, it's fine. Say whatever is coming up for you if you really feel like you need to change it. If I'm down here, you're down here, nothing's going to blow up. It's fine. You can even just pick one place. A lot of times when I'm doing it by myself, I just hit the collarbone while I'm speaking. So whatever you feel like doing, let's go ahead and do that together. Right? Repeat after me. Today I take responsibility for my life, which just means I have the ability to respond. And I'm not always confident in my choices, because I can look at my recent past, which might have been today, or yesterday, or last week, or last month. I didn't make great choices. And even though I might be having the harvest of those bad choices, I deeply and completely love, accept, and forgive myself. And so it is. Take a breath, hold, release. I'm so hard on myself sometimes because I want to do a good job. I am a person of excellence. I do want to be accurate. I want to make the best choices for myself, but I don't always do that. And there are some things that are coming up for me, even now, that remind me of the bad choices that I made. And maybe this has opened up for me imposter syndrome, or I lost some self-confidence because things didn't turn out the way I planned. Things didn't happen the way I was told. I got sold a bad bill of goods, hook, line, and sinker. Maybe I feel, for lack of a better word, stupid. Like, how could I have been so blind? How could I have not seen that? How can I keep making the same choices over and over again? How can I keep on going round and round around this? And that can manifest in other ways too. Like not being able to say yes or not being able to say no. Not being able to say yes to the things and the opportunities that are right in front of me out of fear, worry, doubt, or not saying no to the things I should. Maybe I'm not saying no to opportunities that are in front of me because in the moment I'm very excited, or in the moment it's really entertaining my desires. It's really activating that desire to have that thing or that person or that opportunity, and it can blind me. Because the truth is that when we get very excited, we can go into chemical chaos because our brain is our drug dealer or our medicine man. And in a high emotional state, my IQ drops 15 points. And now I'm putting blinders on. And my gift is the way I think. And when I'm in a high emotional state, if it's anger, if it's confusion, if it's curiosity, if it's excitement, well, now I'm operating at a diminished capacity. And sometimes that FOMO kicks in and I don't want to miss out. Or I just want things to change so desperately. I didn't see the red flags. I felt it. If I look back, I knew something was off, but I wanted that thing or that person or circumstances to change so desperately that I fell for it. So I choose to take my power back right now. I choose to look forward to the things ahead. And I say of myself, I choose to love, accept, and forgive myself. And I forgive those who play their part. It doesn't mean that I have to talk to them. It doesn't mean we have to be friends. It doesn't mean we have to be buddy-buddy. I'm just releasing that debt that is owed. So I don't have to carry it in my mind, in my heart, in my circumstances. I choose to release them. Because I can be benevolent. I choose release. I choose forgiveness. My emotions will follow eventually, even if they don't feel like it right now. I take control. And I'm taking control right now. So I say of myself, it's a new day. Every day I get to receive grace and mercy. It renews every morning. And so I receive grace and mercy for myself right now, my own personal daily manna, daily sustenance. I receive that. And I ask for clarity for the next step. And I know that it's coming. I will expect it. And I will give myself a break. I will not be hard on myself, or at least I would try not to be, because it is a new day. It's a new day. It's a new day. And so it is. Take a breath. Hold. Release. Well, I know that this has been really, really helpful for you. I would love to connect with you. You can find me in pretty much everywhere under your GPS for success. And until next time, which will be very, very soon, may God's richest and best be yours. My beloved.